All right, this is our standard Hunterworks belt endorsement. We're going to start including this in all our videos related to clutching. Just let you know, we do have belts. They've been outstanding, and give us a try. We are really only around a 1% failure rate. There's a video on what makes our belt better. Tech articles on the website, so make sure you check our belts out. All right, today we're going to talk about two rare things that cause Turbo RZR belt problems. Like I said, they're rare, but they do occur. As of today's date, which is February 9th, I do not have a fix for one of them, and there's really just kind of a half a fix for the other. So let's discuss it. Is one of them is, rare cases, is a bent back clutch cover. So the engine and the transmission is mounted against the aluminum back half of your clutch cover, and that's what holds them together on this side. And so this whole cover, cast aluminum, can bend, believe it or not. And there's, of course, people on social media that says it's not the case, but it is the case. So here's a picture right here of the back of one that is bent. You can see the straight edge on it right there and the gap. So this one has in fact bent. All right, so what this does is take your clutches out of alignment and maybe shaft spacing issues, more than anything, out of alignment, and it twists them because the cover gets twisted, and then the belt is running out of twist, and it creates excess belt heat. Where we found out about this is SDI alignment tools. They sell an alignment tool for it, but people misunderstood the tool. There is no alignment procedure per se on a turbo RZR like it is on the non-turbos, where you can loosen bolts and move it around. The back cover sets all this, but if the back cover is bent, then you got a problem. So let's just assume yours is bent, and that's why you're having belt issues, and you go buy a new cover. That's where the tool comes in. Now, at today's date, we don't even sell the turbo tool, and we might, because like I said, it's too much drama almost wrapped around this. It seems common sense to me, but anyway, we'll continue on. And so basically what you do is, you got your old cover off, you put your new cover on, you just simply start the screws, and on the other side of the engine and transmission, there's connections there, and we'll have a video of the tool at some point, but you'll loosen those, and then you put the tool on, the two transmission tubes and the alignment bars on, and you get that set up. And then once this is set up, the shafts are at 10.5 inches, perfect, and they are perfectly parallel. And then you start the tightening sequence in a star pattern, a little bit at a time. Same thing on the back side, a little bit at a time. You cannot run one down and then maybe run one down over here, because it put the cover in a bind while you're putting it on. All right, so a little bit at a time on everything, and then finally tighten them down, and it needs to go from the center out and crisscross so it can go on perfectly flat. So the tool's purpose is for the installation of the new cover to make sure everything's squared up, and then when you pull your tool back off, now your new cover is perfectly squared up. So it's not it could be used to check this, but you can simply take your cover off and lay it on a perfectly flat surface and see, or put a straight edge on the back like the picture I showed you. So that's one way, and it certainly increases belt temperatures and blowing belts. When you can't figure anything else out, you need to check that. Number two rare occurrence, and again, this is the one I don't have a fix for today. I had a customer this week call me and said he had a bone stock 19, I think, or 18 turbo RZR that it was blowing belts, and he had some really high belt temperatures when he ran top speed. And he had used our belt travel video, and it's on our channel, for turbos, for testing belt travel to see if it's traveling too far in the secondary. And sure enough, his bone stock one was taking a stock belt down into that radius in the back half of the clutch, and he had a Razorback temp gauge, and he was seeing it instantly rise in belt temperatures just like my XP1000 did that's sitting behind this camera did. And so he's like, well, how do I fix it? Well, I said, is a speed limiting spacer from the factory in there? He said, yes, it is. You're not going to be able to see it in this video. You can watch our belt travel video to get up close and personal. But here's a turbo primary, and you can see right up underneath the cover, there's a black spacer. So when this clutch closes, that spacer gets in between this cover and this spider, and that limits the travel, which in turn limits the belt travel into the secondary. I do not know why his 100% stock has too much belt travel as today's date, but it's still a possible issue. I don't know that we want to create an additional washer for this primary clutch, but we may have to. So again, I always say as today's date, because this video might be watched 3 years from now, who knows, and we've already got a fix for it. So you can always check on our website, see if there's a product or a washer or whatever. So that pretty much just covers two of the new to me rare things that happens to turbo razors to cause belt problems. Please subscribe to our videos. It should be a little red deal down here in the corner. There's an eye up here in this corner for get you a link to our website, and I'm typically always down in the description. If you're on a mobile phone, you got to scroll all the way to the bottom past the other videos to get to it. But a link to our website, and if you can't see that or this, figure out where Hunterworks.com is. You got bigger issues. But anyway, I thank you for your time. If you got questions, let me know.